just says senior night for the basketball players or somebody. Huh? Yes.
Testing. Yeah, I'm alive.
Here. I'm trying to. I am trying to get this thing open. And I keep getting all these. See, I've got about 5 of them open.
Why don't you close them?
No, but we went to Atlanta over the weekend.
It ain't got nothing to do with Friday.
I'll take care of it.
Don't get nothing out of it.
Mister, could you look at this?
Harris always have
This
problems.
one is,
I can't get to the login page. They have multiple pages open, and we closed them all.
we,
My sister closed.
okay, here we go, give me some, cause I'm not that literate in it. For real, for real. Thank you again for today,
Okay,
brother.
thank you.
Yeah, it's after 6 o'clock. What you mean on the call?
Waiting on Mr. Miller.
You told me?
No, he didn't.
6 o'clock, Mr. Miller. I thought Miss Harris had time.
We're first. They're released.
It is now 6 o'clock. Chair will call this February 11th, 2025, regular call board meeting to order. Madam Clerk, has the public been duly notified?
They have.
And I do confirm a quorum. This time, the chair will ask for a motion to go into executive session for, we would call it personnel matters.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we enter executive session for personnel matters.
Second such
second.
motion.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Dr. Harris to go into executive session for personnel matters. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. That would be 7. We will go into executive session for a short period, and we will, resume. Come back out. Thank you.
My daughter gave it to me for Christmas. Oh, please. All right. Yeah, I'm at Westwood. No, I'm a sub. I'm a full-time sub. Yeah.
How you like?
Yeah, I go and I sit down and I don't do nothing. I mean, because we're not required to teach. We just, we're there to monitor. Yeah.
They teach on TV?
Everything's on Chromebook.
Oh, okay.
Hey, how are you? I'm good, how are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go every day.
You should have kept me.
There was, at the time,
I know you were sick. Yeah. And you didn't think you could physically do it.
right. But then I tell you, I think I enjoy working with middle and high school students more so than I did the elementary. You know, nothing against elementary, but
They don't think on the level where they can comprehend what you're trying to get across.
yeah, and that's what it does.
Try to come down there, do what you do days here, just sit in the classroom.
Right. I mean, and, you know, the money is did I give what?
This is not the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the McCurl Eagles.
That was a good.
Ms. Brown?
I'm gonna put this up.
Shami?
That's
I
it.
was good. I was good.
No, it wasn't
No,
there.
Thursday.
That wasn't where I saw it, where I pulled it up from. Superintendent, updates. No, that wasn't where it was.
Chair would ask for a motion to exit executive session. No action taken.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
make a motion, we exit executive session, no action taken.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis. To exit executive session, no action taken. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you. This time, I just want to welcome everyone. Dr. Dixon, our new, what's that, PR.
Did we do?
I just forgot your name. I'm just,
Jalen.
huh?
Jalen.
Jalen. Sorry about that, you know. I have a lot on my mind. Matter of fact, I need to take this out my ear. I don't know why I even had that in my ear. But thank y'all. And I thank everyone that's looking out there. We streaming live, right?
Yes, sir.
So we thank y'all for y'all support. We understand that it may not be a big crowd in here tonight, but it's raining out there and it's kind of nippy. So, but we do wanted to welcome y'all to our February 11th regular call board meeting, and thank you for y'all support. Public schools is where it's at. It may be, it is an assault on public schools. It is an assault. We have to stand strong. Every way they can, they're trying to take money from public schools. And we thank y'all. We thank y'all. Y'all are the fighters. Y'all administrative staff, our principals, all of you, our students, our clergymen. Y'all are fighters, and so is the school. And we thank y'all for that. At this time, we'll have pledge allegiance and a moment of silence. Mr. Davis.
Please stand for a moment of pledge allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stand for a moment of silence. You may be seated.
This time, agenda approval. The agenda, excuse me.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
I second.
Ms. Harrison Williams, approve the agenda. And a motion to approve the agenda as presented, second by Mr. Davis. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you. Do we have any public comment?
Chairman Miller, no, we do not.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we have, we don't have any recognition, presentation, do we?
No, sir.
Board minutes from, our regular call board meeting, January 21st, 2025. Can we get a motion, please, to accept those?
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular call board meeting held on January 21st, 2025.
Second such motion.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, to approve the minutes on 21st, 2025, second by Dr. Harris. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you. At this time, we will have our superintendent report.
Thank you, Chairman Miller.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Want to celebrate a lot of things tonight that have happened from January up until now. Last week, our boys state champs for the track team and Dr. Swilly, we all went down to the State House. Representative McDaniel read a proclamation celebrating their accomplishment and achievement, with Dr. Swilly being the National Principal of the Year and our boys being the state champs. So that was a great celebration that we had there. Another thing that we had for progress in our district, to date, we have approved a total of 35 new board policies that we have looked at and updated over the course of last semester up until now. So our board has been very busy reading and revising those policies that our team, Dr. Campbell, has brought forth. So we are very thankful that we are up to date on those policies. We instituted an instructional framework this year with Dr. Avery and her department. And so we have done a lot of work in making sure that teachers understand that framework and that there's professional development and support for them when it comes to teaching and learning. So we're celebrating the work that has been done with that, with Dr. Avery and her team. I had an opportunity, did Vice Chair Ms. Harris Williams, to attend Fairfield Middle School Amazing Shake. And that is a competition where our students participate in making first impressions. There were several tasks that they had to compete in. There was a pig on the ridge theme where they had to be salesmen, they had to deal with angry customers, they had to address medical emergencies, pretend to be news reporters, and the kids did a phenomenal job. But we had 12 finalists that are going to be traveling to Atlanta to compete there. And so we're just excited and proud of those students. We have an e-learning day on Monday coming up, and then we will go into intercession week. And then the last thing that I would like to celebrate for everyone out there, we have a barbering program here in our district where our students can take classes to become a licensed barber. And so our barber teacher, Mr. McKnight, and Dr. Pilot, who's the director over at the Technology Center, and I went down to the Barbers Board on Monday to have a conversation with them about early testing for our students. And this is something that has not been done in the state before, and it's an opportunity for our students to leave high school as a licensed barber so that they can enter the workforce. And I always say that one of the things that our board charged me with was making sure that there are positive outcomes for students, that we're always working towards how do we prepare them to be globally competitive. And so Mr. McKnight, Dr. Pollard, and I made our case to that board, and they told us that it would take about a month or so for them to give us the decision. But Mr. McKnight got contacted last night to say that we are approved for early examinations and testings for barber school. And so now every student in the state of South Carolina has that opportunity to be a certified barber before leaving high school. So we're just very thankful for that. And that's the end of my report, those celebrations.
Let me say this right here. Doc, somewhere it said, if we ask not.
We have not.
What? What did, you got the X.
Got that.
And I'm proud of you all to go down there, play it, your case for the whole state. Was able to come back, because I know you told me about it. I think it wasn't even a day or two, they had rendered a decision in favor of the students of South Carolina. It was Fairfield County that did it first. Don't forget that, okay? Don't forget that, okay? But we made a way
Absolutely.
for the whole state. Okay, thank you, Doc. Finance.
Good evening.
Okay. Good evening, Chairman Miller, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Hemingway. The only item this evening on the finance is the finance report for January of 2025, which is presented for your information. Our revenues, we have received most of the majority of the local tax revenues. Now, some of that is not represented here because of the date of our board meeting, which is a little earlier than normal. However, after having seen some of the preliminary reports, everything looks as expected, which is good. We've had years in the past where it's much better than expected. That's not the case this year, but there's no negative results so far. Everything looks the way it should be, and given that we've gotten through the month of January, which is our big month, that is at least good news. Other than that, everything else looks in order, and as we get closer towards the end of the year, I'll be able to then kind of give you a projection as far as where I think we'll stand for the remainder of the year. But this is just presented right now for your information.
I got a question for you, Mr.
Sir.
Robinson. Okay. I know you got big ears when it comes to finance and what have you, and what I'm hearing is that, you heard anything about the second phase of the nuclear plant? Have you been hearing anything about that in regards to us?
Nothing that would give me a great deal of confidence that we'll be receiving a lot of money. I've heard, a couple of things on the news that they were looking at another reactor or restarting, but
That's what I'm hearing.
I think we're a long way away from having anything definitive. And as before, we really weren't guaranteed to get anything out of the reactors before. So I don't know whether that'll be the case again or not, but right now it's kind of in the early stages.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody got a question for Mr. Robinson? Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Sure.
Curriculum and instructions, Dr. Avery.
Good evening, Chairman Miller, members of the board, Dr. Hemingway. Tonight, for your approval, you have 3 overnight field trips for Fairfield Central High School. The wrestling team were invited to a wrestling state tournament in Florence, and they were also invited to the wrestling upper state tournament at Chesney High School. And then our orchestra also was invited to participate in the Six Flags Music Festival, which will take place in May. And one note, even though this is not for your approval, but I just want to bring your attention to it, our orchestra has also been invited to play for the Auntie Karen Foundation upcoming concert that'll be held on February 21st. So if you are a supporter of the arts and you would like to go support our students, they are planning to participate and actually play during the reception on February 21st at the Koga Center. But I'll forward that information to Ms. Brown, and she can forward to you if you all would like to attend to support our students. But of course, for your approval tonight are the 3 field trips for our students from Fairfield Central High School.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion. We accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the overnight out-of-state
second by Mr. Davis, accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the overnight field trip request as submitted. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand.
All right, the second item is the second and final reading of the 2025-2026 academic calendar. And the calendar was presented to you in January for the first reading, and there were no changes as a result of the first reading. So the calendar remains unchanged.
Sir,
I make a motion we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the 25-26 proposed academic calendar. Final reading.
Mr. Davis to accept the superintendent recommendation, approve the 25-26 proposed academic calendar. Just one question before we vote. So we did our usual,
We did.
reached out to our teachers as well as our principals, our staff.
Yes, everyone had an opportunity to give feedback on the survey, which included our teacher forum, which is our district teachers of the year.
Right.
We had one representative.
Yes, ma'am.
And then it also was sent out to our community and our stakeholders and our parents.
Awesome. You know,
excuse me,
and,
Pat. You
Go
had
ahead, Ms.
mentioned
Gray.
last time you were going to send the second one. You sent the second one out as well?
I did not, and let me tell you why I didn't. On this time, because there were no changes, I did not send it out, but I also sent to the staff, included in the first reading, a FAQ, which clearly explained all of the changes.
Okay, there was no questions.
okay. Dr. Avery, also, with our plan from last year, okay, I guess that's what I'm asking, is that when we started this thing, 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
I think 3, with the
Okay.
modified balance calendar?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So everybody's pretty happy about it now?
Yes, yes. And I will say that even some local school districts now have adopted our modified balance calendar.
How about that?
But a lot of districts still haven't figured out how to do the week at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And so we've been able to use that as a recruitment tool so that we can encourage more teachers. Because a lot of our teachers still like to have the intersession breaks along with the break, the full week at Thanksgiving as well.
Okay.
So it's been a very valuable tool for us to retain our staff.
Motion made by Mrs. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis, to accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the 25-26 proposed academic calendar. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand.
Yes, they do like it.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you. All right. All right, Dr. Campbell. Keep up with you.
Good evening, Chairman Miller, other board members, Dr. Hemingway. As Dr. Hemingway mentioned, we have been very busy since July, updating our policy, so I appreciate your diligence in reading them and approving them, and also to our employees and our administrators for providing feedback. In this second read policies that I'm going to ask you to approve, you notice that there's some blue writing this month where you normally have black or red and some strike-throughs. But we've had some feedback from our administrators. So the edits that you see in blue are due to feedback from our administrators. Nothing that's going to change the content of the policy, but just small edits that we want to make sure we capture. For instance, I'll start with our student dress. The initial policy only mentioned uniforms in one of our buildings, but an administrator contacted me and provided some context to update that policy. So we know that our magnet school, as a school of choice, all of our students are required to wear uniforms. Our other elementary schools have adopted uniforms as part of their student dress code. So our policy will reflect that, because initially it only indicated that students at the magnet schools wore uniforms.
Okay.
So you have several motions this evening. And another edit I want to point out to you as well relates to our professional hiring policy. Ms. Robinson went through it and reread that to make sure that it lined up with how they do business in HR. And the policy was initially written before we had some of the electronic hiring platforms that we have. So she had to make some edits to some steps in how we hire and onboard and you approve personnel to be hired. And that also is noted in blue. So without those, with the exception of those minor changes, there have been no other changes to the policies from first read until today in second read.
Okay.
So your first motion is to approve the second and final reading of those list of policies that are there.
So Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I make a motion that we accept the recommendation to approve the second and final reading of the following policies with the noted changes in policy JIB, policy JICA, policy JICEA, policy JICF, policy JICG, policy JICH, policy AR, JICH-R, policy JICI, policy GDF, and policy DGF and GCF, as well as policy ARGCFR.
Thank you. Can we get a second?
Second such motion.
Motion made by Ms. Green, second by Mr. Davis, to accept the superintendent.
Harrison.
Sorry, Doc. Sorry. I do apologize.
Yes, sir.
All right. Motion made by Ms. Green, second by Dr. Harris, accepted the superintendent recommendation for policy JIB, JICA, JICEA, JICF, JICG, JICH, RF, JICH-R, JICI, GDF, GCF, AR, GCF-R, professional staff hire. All in favor
It's a mouthful.
of that motion, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you, Doc. All right.
Your second motion is we have two policies in that group that we are recommending that we rescind. Again, that's to eliminate redundancy, and that will be our student dress code. If you recall, back in maybe September or so, we updated our student code of dress, so we no longer need that separate, our code of conduct, so we no longer need that separate policy. And in our rule for student dress, everything that we need for our administrators to know and students to follow is covered in the policy, so we can eliminate the rule. So the motion is to approve the second and final reading to rescind policy JIC and AR-JICA.
All right. Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion we approve the second and final reading to rescind the following policy rule. JIC, AR, JICAR.
I second.
Who did we get?
Get to Ms. Green.
Ms. Green. Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Ms. Green. To accept the superintendent recommendation to rescind the following policy rule, policy JIC and policy AR-JICA-R. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you, Dr. Campbell.
Have two more.
Got two more, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. I'm presenting a new group of policies for first read. And what I try to do is I try to group them in batches that kind of make sense and go along with each other. So this has to do with our students entering school, where they go to school, and then we have a second batch of those that have to do with our use of metal detectors in our school, because we are very fortunate that we have them in our buildings, and a policy, JIH, that relates to student interrogation, searches, and arrest. I point out this one because we've had a lot of conversation in the district and across the nation about ICE agents showing up at school. So this is something that we needed to update to make sure that we are, number one, following the law, but number one, we're protecting our students and doing what's right by them. So you'll see some updated statutes and language for that policy, but the recommendation is to approve the first reading of the revisions of the policies that are listed.
Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the first reading revision to the following policy: JED, ARJEDR, JFAA, JFAD, JIH, ARJIHR, JIHC, ARJIHCR, and JIHCE.
A second.
Did we get a second?
I second.
Ms. Green just said.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Ms. Green, to accept the superintendent recommendation to the following: JEB, ARJEB-R, policy JFAA, JFAB, JIH, ARJIH-R, JIHC, policy ARJIHC-R, JIHC-E. Those are the policies. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand, please. Thank you. One more.
And your fourth motion of policies is to rescind JFC, which is student withdrawal and school dropouts. And again, that information is covered in another policy.
Right. Okay. Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the first reading to rescind policy JFC, student withdrawal from school dropouts.
A second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Ms. Green. Accept the superintendent recommendation to board approval of the first reading. First reading, rescind policy JFC, student withdrawal from school dropout. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you.
And
Dr.
this does not require a motion, but you'll notice in your packet that you have another policy as well as an exhibit. Those are to be reviewed with no recommended changes. So the minutes would just reflect that you reviewed those two, that policy and that exhibit, and there were no changes noted. And that's just for the minutes to reflect that.
Saying that. Thank you. That would be good if you would. I didn't know.
Dr. Campbell, earlier you mentioned one of the policies changing with visitors coming to school with some of the recent things that have been in the news about ICE agents coming to schools.
Yes, sir.
I know that we were interviewed the other day on the news about what school districts are doing or what we're doing as far as that mandate that came out and with that fear. Do you mind just walking the board through the steps that we took and the guidance that we gave principals for handling those situations?
Certainly. One of the things that we did is we want to make sure every sector of our, I guess what we would call front office staff, school administrators, and what I like to call our wraparound student support services. So Dr. Hemingway met with principals and kind of talked about our role in this process. We know that when visitors come to our buildings, they're all required to sign in. And so if a federal agent shows up, they need to do the same thing. They need to sign up, sign in, show ID. If they have any documentation, they share that documentation with us. We were able to tell principals what kind of documentation they should present and what they should look for. We don't let any other stranger have access to our kids.
Absolutely.
And so we're not gonna let an agent have access without proper documentation. If they present that documentation, administrators know who to contact in this building for us to be able to work through and walk through that with them. as well as notifying our legal counsel. So that was provided to principals. We asked principals to talk to their front office staff, and we provided guidance because we wanted to make sure that Tanya didn't say one thing, Dr. Avery didn't say another thing in her building. So we provided them guidance that was consistent across the district. So it doesn't matter if they went to this school for big brother, another school for little sister, they were going to get the same response. So there is written documentation and guidance for our front office. We then had a meeting with our guided school counselors, our social workers, our parent liaisons. Am I missing anybody? Those individuals that we feel like support our kids when it comes to social and emotional help. And we provided them, again, with written documentation of what they should be looking for, what your reaction is, make sure you have all the contact numbers that you needed. Because I mentioned earlier, we're going to follow the law, but we're also going to protect our kids. And we know that there's this fancy word that says in loco parentis, and what that means in another language is in lieu of parents. And so if those parents aren't at school, and we're going to try to contact them if someone shows up to let them know, hey, someone's here to talk to your child, is it okay? But if we can't get them, that's when we step into that role. So no one is going to speak to a student without an adult from our building being there. Principal, guidance counselor, school social worker, parent liaison. So I can't reiterate enough that we are here to support. We also found guidance to help our families have conversations at home. What you should say, what you shouldn't say. In the unfortunate event that one of our families has to go, that outlines, make sure students know who are you supposed to go live with. So we are also prepared if that happens of how we respond to, again, take care of our students.
Can I ask the question? Do you know the number of ESL staff members we have throughout our district?
We have one district ESL teacher.
And they are able to move when necessary?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so the policy that we presented tonight just makes sure that what we're doing in our guidance is in our board policy, and that our policy is updated to kind of cover what we're doing.
And thank you for mentioning our ESL teacher, because he has played an integral part in this. He was one of the second phone calls we made, because we know he probably has the closest contact to some of our families. Right. And so we wanted him to know if they come, if a family comes to you and needs anything, please call us, because we want to be helpful. I have one more agenda item. That's why I haven't moved yet.
All right, one more.
So in your packet, you have a facility usage request from Crook Baptist Church to use the high school auditorium. And what they are requesting is for the board to waive the fee for using the building. Our policy, which you also has, outlines the fees in which we can charge an outside organization for using our building. There is a custodial fee, there is a building usage fee, and there's a fee for someone to work our sound equipment. And what their request is that the board waives the fee to use the building. They will still pay for the custodian to work. Okay. And if the school is able to find someone to work our sound system, they will pay for that person to work our sound system. If they can't find anyone to work our sound system, they will be responsible for bringing their own, because we have a very sophisticated sound system that we want to make sure that we have the right people operating.
That you know, had talked about that our custodians, you know, and I spoke with the pastor, and he's under an understanding that our school staff, you know, that they need to be taken care of, as well as you say, our someone that work the equipment.
Yes, sir.
So that charge should be in there, but as from the board, if that's just go ahead and make a motion, please. Huh?
Only thing that's actually is $800.
Okay, let's make a motion, yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve a waiver of fees for Crook Run Baptist Church. It's the $800 for the building only.
All right. Can we get a second?
I second.
All right. Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis. The superintendent recommends the board consider the waiver of fees of the Crooks Run Baptist Church for the uses of the Fairfield Central High School auditorium from April the 6th to the April the 9th, 2025. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. All right, you can
Thank
let them
you.
know.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Human Resource, Mrs. Robinson.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman
Yes,
and
ma'am.
members of the board.
Evening.
Under HR this evening, we have the following items for your approval. Item 1, certified resignations, terminations, recommended action. The superintendent recommends the board approve the certified resignation terminations as outlined in Exhibit 1 to be effective at the conclusion of the 24-25 academic year.
Can we get a
Chairman
motion?
Miller, Chairman Miller, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation that we approve the certified resignation and termination as outlined in Exhibit 1 to be effective at the conclusion of the 2024-25 academic school year.
A
Academic year.
second.
Motion made by Mr. Davis, with a second. Second by Mrs. Green to accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the certified resignation, termination outlined in Exhibit 1 to be effective in conclusion of the 24-25 academic school year. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Okay, Ms. Robinson.
Second item, certified recommendation. The superintendent recommends the board approve the professional certified educators as outlined in Exhibit 2 for the 25-26 academic year.
Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion we approve the professional certified educators as outlined in Exhibit 2 for the 25-26 academic year.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Mr. Davis, to accept the superintendent recommendation for the board to approve the professional certified educators as outlined in Exhibit 2 for the 25-26 academic year. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you.
Okay.
Robinson, one more?
Item 3, certified administrative recommendations. The superintendent recommends the board approve the professional certified administrators as outlined in Exhibits 3A and 3B for the 25-26 academic year.
Can we get a motion?
Chairman Miller, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation that the board approve the professional certified administrators as outlined in Exhibit 3A and 3B for the 2025-2026 academic year.
Second.
Who's that?
Pastor Jackson.
Huh? Okay. Motion made by Mr. Davis, second by Pastor Jackson, to accept the superintendent recommendations. The board approve the professional certified administrator as outlined in Exhibit 3A and 3B for the 25-26 academic year. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I just, at this time, this board chair report, just, you know, everyone, we have invitation, board trustees, Read Across America, Fairfield County Elementary School. Read Across America Week, an annual event in which students, teachers, and administrators, parents, and volunteers celebrate the literacy throughout the country. This year, we are celebrating our love and reading during the week of March 3rd through the 7th. Board members are valued members of our school community, and we invite you to read in as a guest reader during the Read Across America Week. Please sign up by February the 25th. Come and read to our children. Fairfield Central had signing day. Okay, congratulations to those outstanding students, athletes from the Fairfield Central High School Griffin signing their letter of intent. We are so proud of their accomplishment, and we wish them the best, continue their journey for success. Tyron, I hope that I pronounced that right. Tadarion Greer, Fayetteville State University. Isn't that great? Centennial Turner Jr., Fayetteville State University. Tamoda, look here, Mr. Weldon. I can't pronounce this right. Mr. Weldon, Allen University. Christopher Pearson, Limestone University. And Ontario James, Newberry College. Look here, they deserve a warm applause, signing up and taking it to the next level.
That's right.
Okay, and we're so happy for them. Okay, this is great news. You know. Okay, the Fairfield Central High School Beta Club traveled down to Myrtle Beach for the SC State competition and represented it. They placed top 3 in 15 categories, 7 first place, 4 second places, and 4 third place. I am also excited to announce that Mrs. Thompson was elected to the position of state sponsor elect. So give them all an applause. Okay. Also, we had South Carolina School Board Driver Appreciation Week from, I guess it's getting ready, it's going this week, February the 10th to the 14th. And they just, thank you, boy. You know, when you look out there and you see them black and gold, don't they look good on the road?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they look good on the road. That's awesome right there. I guess what we got here, signing, who's that? This is, okay, signing day for Fairfield Senior Jordan Adams signed with Catawba Valley Community College. Clap your hands for her. And Fairfield County High School alumni break school record. Tanisha English. Awesome. Clap your hands for her.
That's right.
All right. And this is this is awesome right here. Our children are doing a great job, and we want them to know that they represent us, and we want to make sure that we give them their recognition. Okay, and Association of Education Office Professionals 2025 Administrator of the Year, Dr. Tracy Swilly. Each year, the SCAEOP affiliated have the opportunity to nominate an educational administrator as the Administrator of the Year based on their personal and professional accomplishment. I tell you, this year and in the second year in a row, this honor will be bestowed to the administrators from the Fairfield County School District. Please help and celebrate Dr. Tracy Swilly. Clap your hands. Awesome. So I just, just making a few announcements. Great things that's going on in Fairfield County. Y'all got some great things. Y'all have great school districts. Don't let nobody define you. You define yourself.
That's right.
Nobody gonna define us. They'll say a lot of things about you and me. It doesn't define us. But I think I done ran my mouth enough. Go ahead, Ms. Harris.
So you all know my gala is coming up, and this is my 15th year. I'm praying we have enough seating because they still calling for these tickets, but I appreciate everybody that donated, people that just donated, so I won't be able to come, but I want to support what you're doing. They believe in me, and I believe in myself. My daddy installed that in me over the years, and I thank God that I can continue this. I am excited. I couldn't believe it's been 15 years, but it has. So I'm excited about Saturday. And also, the School Board Association, we have a smorgasbord every second Tuesday of each month. It's virtual. So one of the guys from right here, he says, Sylvia, we want to come down here and visit these houses. So they want to set up a meeting, a tour. So Scott will let me know, and I'll get with Mr. Miller and you. And a lot of the directors want to come, and they just want to visit the housing. They think that would be a great opportunity for them to recruit and retain their teachers. So I'm excited about setting that up with them. And I will be moderating one of the sessions, so make sure y'all come and support y'all board member.
I will.
So, yeah, and the retreat that we didn't get to talk about last month, but it was very, very informative. We all know they are trying to pass a lot of bills. And if we're sitting here thinking that we are safe, we're not. They're coming out the board members. They are coming out the public schools. That is their attack. And it's basically two representatives that's trying to pass all these bills. And basically they're saying board members don't matter. We don't matter at all. And so we're fighting it, but we got to do our part. I encourage every board member to read up on your policies. Know what they're talking about, so when people talk to you, you'll know how to answer and what's going on, because there's a lot of stuff going on down at that State House, and they are really coming out for public education.
We don't have representation.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Oh, yeah, in the shuttle, so you're going down next week for the retreat, so if you're staying in the villas, they do have a shuttle bus. I think you would have to call for the shuttle to come pick you up, to take you over to the conference. I mean, it's free, so you won't have to drive back and forth, because I know Myrtle Beach could be a little hectic, going. I had to ride with Pastor Jackson one time, me and him was going. So, but they do have shuttle bus, so they told me to let y'all know, so it will be a shuttle bus.
Great.
Yeah, so you just have to let them know if you're in the villas. I don't know who all is staying in the villas. I think the other hotels, nobody's staying in the villas.
I'm in a villa.
So, but the other hotels, they have a time that they are picking up, I think 7 to 8:30 in the morning to take you. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Davis, you have something?
Yes, sir, Chairman Miller.
Yes.
As we know, this coming Friday is Valentine's Day, and Mr. Siebels and I and a few other people will be feeding the Council on Agency. We're gonna have a Valentine's Day party, which we have food, entertainment such as a DJ. We have it decorated and everything. It's gonna be very exciting. We got some of the kids involved that's gonna participate by, giving them cards and some other items. And there's some other people that's gonna, step in and help out. So I'm inviting the board members, if anybody would like to come from the district, whatever, hours 11 to about 1. We'll be at the Council on Agency, feeding the senior citizens. Also, on the 16th of February, from the hours of 12 to 2, me and Ms. Siebel, we also be tag teaming with Tiny Tots, and we'll be passing out blankets, soup, and some other items to the seniors, which is called Soup for Your Soul. That's the theme of the event. It's gonna be in the Walmart parking lot, and it's a drive-through, and it's called Tiny Tots. That's the one that's actually hosting it.
And what time?
12 to 2.
All right. Anybody? That's it for you, Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Okay. Just note that, and I keep on reiterating this. Fairfield is family. You know what I'm saying? We family. Dr. Robinson, when I got here, you was here. You left for a little bit, but you was here. you was the director of finance. Is that right? So how many years you been here? About 18? Well, you left for just a few years. I've been here 19 now. So I got a little edge on you. Dr. Avery, how long you been here? 17? Wow. Ms. Robinson, how long you been here? 19. You must have came straight out of high school. Straight out of college. 19 years. You ain't that old. I know we have a young staff, but we are family. You know, and sometimes now, you know, if you go to my house sometimes, you may find that see Sister Brenda, she may be on me. She still love me. So we may disagree. We still love each other, you know, because we one family, Fairfield County. And so, with saying that, can I get a motion, please, to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
I say.
Second.
Motion to adjourn, Ms. Harrison Williams, second by Pastor Jackson. All in favor, raise your hand. Meeting adjourned. Y'all tickle me.
Get to the game.
We over here?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go over there for a minute. I ain't been to a game all year. Y'all laughing at me?
I'm ready to go.
I think I'm gonna go over there too.
Okay, wait, here. Here your ticket. I got some tickets right here.
Just don't give mine away.
Left my door open and somebody stole my
No.
laptop.
They did?
Yeah, they paid. I mean, I had insurance. Yeah, and I was good at leaving money on the desk.
Well, don't do that then.
This looks like Mardi Gras.
All right, take care.
See you Saturday.
Saturday. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you know I can't do that dance.
All right now.
The what? They went viral. I know. I still can't do it though. Yeah, they tried to get me.
I didn't put that on there. You notice that now.
Dump it, brother. Dump it.
Mr. Frank. All right now. I'm depending on you before you leave. Got to have her straightened out. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't get up nobody good, you can't go.